You're sitting right there, watching everything unfold with your own eyes, and the room feels tight, like the air itself knows something is about to snap. Keith Urban walks onto the set of Kelly Clarkson's show with that familiar calm smile, but you can see it, just beneath the surface. Something is weighing on him. Something he didn't plan to talk about today. Something he's been holding in for far too long. And before you even realize it, you're pulled directly into the tension, the kind that makes your chest tighten, because you know this isn't going to be one of those light-hearted interviews. Not today. Keith sits down, tries to breathe, tries to settle into that warm, bright energy Kelly always brings, but even Kelly feels it. You can see it in her eyes as she reaches for her cue cards and then looks at him, hesitating for just a moment, as if she's trying to measure the weight of the room. You've probably never seen the two of them like this. And the truth is, neither have they, because it starts with something small, always something small. A question, a misunderstanding, a wound that never quite healed. Kelly asks about a topic she believes is safe, his break, his time away, the moments he disappeared to focus on himself. And Keith, for a second, tries to respond politely, tries to steer around it with his usual grace. But today, that grace is cracked. Today, the truth leaks out. You know, he says, his voice a little lower, a little tighter. Sometimes stepping back isn't a choice. Sometimes it's the only thing left. You can almost hear the room shift. Kelly looks at him again, really looks, trying to read between the lines. She's known Keith for years, shared stages, stories, laughter. But today, she finds herself facing a version of him she's never met. A version carrying unresolved hurt, frustration, exhaustion. And then she presses, just a little too far. Not to attack him, not to provoke, not to win, but because that's what hosts do. That's her job. And maybe, just maybe, because she thinks he needs to say it, needs to release whatever he has been holding back. But the second the words leave her mouth, you know it's too much. The question hits him harder than anyone expects, harder than she expects. His jaw tightens, his shoulders tense, and suddenly, that calm smile is gone, replaced with something raw, something unfiltered, something that has been building quietly for months. Keith leans back and looks at her in a way that stops even the crew in their tracks. It's the look of someone who feels misunderstood, cornered, pushed into a place he wasn't ready to go. And he answers, not angrily at first, but with a heaviness that fills the room. You think stepping away is weakness, he says. You think it means I couldn't handle it. But you have no idea what it took for me to get through those days. Kelly tries to soften the moment, tries to reach across the emotional distance, but the damage is done. The conversation turns sharper, faster, each sentence cutting closer to the nerve. And you can see it. This isn't about the question anymore. This is about everything Keith has been trying not to feel, everything he's tried to push down so he can keep smiling for fans, for interviews, for the world. And then it happens, the moment that changes everything. Keith leans forward, eyes blazing, not with anger toward Kelly, but with anger at the situation, the pressure, the weight he's carried without saying a word. He says something that silences the entire audience. Something honest, something vulnerable, something he probably never meant to say publicly. Kelly responds, but her voice is trembling too now, not with fear, with empathy, with guilt, with the realization that her question unintentionally pulled open a door he wasn't ready to walk through. And Keith stands, Not abruptly, not dramatically for the sake of drama, but in that way, a person stands when they have reached their limit, when staying seated hurts more than walking away, when speaking feels like bleeding. He steps away from his chair. The audience gasps. Kelly calls his name softly, trying to stop him, trying to fix what has already slipped beyond her grasp. But Keith doesn't turn around. He walks off the stage, past the lights, past the cameras, past the stunned silence settling over the room. You can feel the shock, the heartbreak, the confusion. You can almost hear Kelly trying to steady her voice, trying to explain to viewers what happened when even she doesn't fully know. And what makes the moment even heavier is the truth that follows Keith backstage. The truth that storms don't just suddenly appear, they build slowly, patiently, day by day, until finally they break. And maybe that break happened right here, right now, in front of millions of viewers. Kelly sits there alone for a moment, holding back tears, not because of embarrassment or scandal, but because she cares. Because she knows the pain in his voice wasn't meant for her. It was meant for the world that expects too much, too often, from someone who is still human before anything else. And you, watching this, can't look away. You feel the weight of that moment long after the camera's cut. You feel the echo of Keith's footsteps as he storms off the stage, not out of anger, but out of survival. You feel Kelly's heart drop as she tries to process what just happened. What follows for the rest of the show isn't damage control. It's a reflection, a look at how even the strongest artists break under pressure, how the brightest performers carry shadows, how even the closest friendships can stumble under the weight of unspoken truths. And through all of this, you're pulled deeper into the layers behind that confrontation, the emotions swirling beneath the surface, the storm that finally broke in front of the world. Because this wasn't about a question. It wasn't about an interview. It wasn't even about the moment he walked away. It was about everything unspoken that finally demanded to be heard. And if you've stayed with me this long, if you've felt the intensity of this moment unfolding, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next story coming your way.